What up, 30 Messers?
It's your girl Kiki.
And it's your girl Gigi.
Y'all
And
know who this is.
clearly, Belay's life is still in shambles. Welcome to episode about episodes. Yeah, that's well,
It's about episodes.
it's about episodes.
Why are we here?
Why are we even here?
How was your weekends?
It was good.
It's
What
good.
was it now?
No, it actually, it wasn't. It wasn't. But I'm here.
And what about you?
It was a good weekend for me. I mean, I was here. I'm relaxed after numerous trainings on my job. So I finally had a weekend where I can fully sleep and not have to worry. Can't speak for this upcoming weekend, but you know.
Yeah. Well, my weekend was good. It was action packed. I had two friends that I actually made friends with in Germany come visit for the weekend, and then brunch one of the days, and then the next day we did the Sunday we did like the Harlem Globe Trotters.
Hey.
Harlem Globe
Who?
Harlem Globe who?
Who are they?
Trotters.
That was good.
The Harlem Globe Trotters. Am I saying it wrong?
You're saying it good. You're saying it
You
good.
saying it just
It was the
fine.
first time you had me cracking up.
Yeah, like saying it together it'd be it's rough for me. It's rough. It's rough for my money a little bit. But you know, today's episode is gonna be talking about like representatives. I think a lot of us have been in a place or are usually in a place where we are trying to put our best self forward and, you know, just be who we think other people want us to be. And I think that is, I don't think that's a good thing to be, to continue like your whole life to always show up as a representative. And so
become bamboozled.
Yeah.
I'm a victim sometimes.
Exactly. And also you attract people that you don't really want to be around too. Like that representative be having you out here capping on capping.
Nope.
But we want to talk about like what is the definition of a representative, right? Like what do you think a representative is?
Can we Urban Dictionary this one?
Well, Urban Dictionary says is the type of person you become to impress the opposite sex. That's what Urban Dictionary says.
Interesting.
I think that's a little specific. I think it could be much broader than that.
I think it can be too, because like don't you put on a representative when you at that job interview and you speaking up your most proper English, you know, like I think you put on a representative when you're making new friends, you know, like different like environments where you might not be comfortable feeling like you can be yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Television shows show representatives, like, and as you watch the season, you see people change and get more comfortable with being on camera and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Do you feel like that people purposely send it, and why? And if so, why?
Do I think if people purposely send it?
You like send like the representative.
Yeah. I think they do it to catch the bait. Catch the bait, not debate. It's like fishing. You put it on the hook. Reel them in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
I can agree with that. I think it's to kind of hook something that you want or to keep something away. Because you can send a representative too to kind of keep people away from what you want them to see.
I didn't think of that.
In a sense. So I think I can see both for that.
Dang, I think like a representative, I think it's sent. I think it's so, you know, like when you go to therapy, you feel like everything is like a trauma response, right? Like it's like
That's the emotion. Trauma.
Oh, it's a coping mechanism. Like, like, so you start to look at it. I start to look at things a little bit differently. So I think that not only is it like a coping mechanism or like a trauma response, but I think it's something that because they haven't felt worthy to show up as themselves, or they don't feel like who they are would be accepted in like the different scenarios that they would show up as a representative. I feel like that's the reason why it would show up. But I think at first, I think everybody is prancing up into whatever environment they're in with their representative.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
For sure.
I think that's probably why people who are more reserved get such a bad rap, like, oh, they're antisocial, or oh, they're this or that. It's because like the representative is to be quiet, but once that person gets comfortable, oof,
that's the representative.
Submission, baby. Do you feel there's a need for it, like from time to time?
On resumes. To get that call. But not really.
I think I hear it from corporate people a lot. I think a lot of times when we send representatives as a culture, it's our jobs, right? Like, especially in Black culture, it's like we can't be our true, authentic selves at work. We have to uphold a certain way. And you also don't want to be genuine in how you say things or what you're actually thinking. So I think that's where we probably send our representatives the most, is at work.
But question, are we familiarizing sending your representative as code switching?
It can be. Code switching is sending a representative, technically.
They coincide?
I think so. I think it's kind of like code, because I have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not at times in order to get where I need to go.
Okay.
So that's sending a representative. I'm sending somebody that's other than myself.
Okay, that's fair. Then we might as well just bring code switching into this whole conversation. That's why. That's the only reason why I asked.
Yeah, but I think it depends, because I don't feel like code switching applies to relationships, where we also hear where people are sending their representatives in.
I don't know. I think it depends on where you're from. I find myself code switching sometimes for people to understand me in different cultures.
Maybe because I'm American, I never had that happen.
No, because do you code switch with other races?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Just asking.
You gonna get what you get.
You gonna get all of this right here. What about you, Gigi?
So I think I do it sometimes out of habit. Like, you don't just get to this level of your career without being able to like move in and out of those spaces that you need to move in and out of, right? Like,
yeah,
for a lot of us, for a lot of cultural people, I will say, we have to like turn off like the way we speak sometimes. Like, sometimes I don't use transition phrases. Like, sometimes I don't use proper English, but I think
what's transition phrases?
Transition phrases are like, like going from one word to another. Like, I'll say like two words, like money's there. I don't say like money is there, or I will say something like finna do, like
yeah, I got you.
Like this, it should be a word in between those two words.
It sounds fine to me.
It do. It do.
You go to a board meeting when you have
right. I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you. I've been in corporate way too long.
Like, did you hire them off the street? Like, the money? Like, you sure?
Did they always talk like this? How long
do they always speak like this? I want to be around the kind of person who's like, wow, you're so articulate. And I'm like, yes, so are you. Like, I want to be able to move in and out of those kind of circles. Only because, like, I feel like your access to your network is different.
I agree.
So that's one way that I would use my representative. For relationships, I don't think that I use a representative per se, but I do try to put up like a hard, tough shell, like try to get like all the questions answered up front, so I can know if I'm wasting my time or not. And I think that I guess in a sense is like a representative. It's not. I'm not doing that to impress the other gender, but I am doing it in an attempt to protect myself and protect my heart. But I haven't been successful in that. So now I'm just kind of like,
is that a representative? Like, are you faking the funk to get answers,
or do you just have a wall up?
well, what is a representative? It's like presenting a different form of yourself, right? Like, or am I wrong in believing it that way and looking at it that way?
No, I don't think you're wrong in believing it that way. Like, because I think you brought it up earlier. Like, it could also be a way to push people away.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not technically purposely pushing them away.
No. I'm like, do you smoke? Do you do drugs? Do you drink? Like, I'm asking those questions. But my usual self, like, I'm not like that. You guys already know, like, I'm not intense like that. Like, I'm just kind of like chill.
Sure.
I'm lay back. I like to laugh a lot. I like to, like, just enjoy like good, genuine people. But I think I'd be trying to cut through their representative with my questions, and that doesn't work sometimes. A lot of the times.
Fair. That's fair. I'll say that's a representative. I guess you send your hard shell wall up representative until you're like, okay, bitch, go away. I got this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a representative, but hey.
What would you call it?
I think that's just at what you would do on dates. You normally ask questions and stuff. I don't feel like that's you sending a representative. Now, if I faked the answers or I faked who I was presenting based off of whatever I'm being asked, that's me sending a representative. But the person asking the questions, I don't know if like, I know you're saying that you don't normally do that in natural settings.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're getting to know people, you ask questions.
Well, she's saying like she's very funny and goofy and silly, but when she's asking this question, she's like,
I'm dead
straight, blunt,
smile,
not having it.
In a way, I am looking at this person like an interrogator.
Let's talk about this. Do you feel like all your dates are like
that? Most of them.
Okay.
But not now. Not
now. Another episode. Yeah, not now, but
previous. Yeah, previous.
Another episode. That's for another episode.
Yeah. Do you feel like all cultures have like representatives, or do you feel like that's something that's like established in American culture?
I think it's something established in the American culture.
What makes you say that?
Because people are trying to get ahead in life here. I mean, I think people are trying to get ahead of life everywhere, but here it's like custom to show face in order to make it in life. And I think that's why people who are real and genuine, who become like, influential and things like that, the real genuine people, they get so much scrutiny because they did it differently, even though that's really who they are. That's my thoughts, though.
What do you think?
So I don't know other cultures well enough yet, but I will say that probably Americans are like the number ones in leading the representative type of style, because I notice like most people, when they even find someone that's genuine, they don't believe it. They're trying to dig into what are you trying to hide? Like, you're this genuine? Because I've encountered that from a number of people where they don't believe how genuine I am, or that I'm just really this person that's unproblematic for the most part. And they're just like, nah, there got to be something else. You got to dig into it. Like, it's like we come with, you have to have a mask on. Everybody has to have a mask on. You can't
to be dope.
Yeah, like you can't maneuver this world and not have a mask on. You need a mask on to level up. And there's no way you're genuine. So I think our culture automatically shapes us to believe that everybody has a representative and you have to spend a large amount of time with a person to trust them enough to know who they really are, instead of just believing what they're presenting immediately. I think that our culture, American culture, is the only ones that has this issue. Well, not the only ones, but is probably the biggest ones. Like, even when we go outside the country, when you talk to people who's never traveled outside the country, their mindset is just like, nah, it's not safe. There's nowhere you can go outside of America that is safe. Everybody's out to get you. Everybody's going to say anything to get you. Like, it's true. It's like, or
there's people like you out there.
There's genuine people everywhere, and we're the monsters. So you can look at it like that too. So I really do think our culture is like the worst in terms of sending representatives, because that's what's ingrained. It's like, no, tell them what they think they want to hear. Then you can get what you want out of it, and then show them who you are after, because you got what you wanted.
And I'll say this because you reminded me of something. I feel like America's the only place where you can pay somebody to hype you up. Mm. Tell you, like, go for your goals, shoot for your goals, do this, do that. Like, so many, I think everybody needs to be inspired in the world. But I feel like you can make buku bank here to hype you up. Pay me $100 so I can tell you how great you are. Mm-hmm. And you can actually do this. Like, you don't even believe you can do this because so many people say what's wrong with you.
The free.
I don't even know how to answer this question because I've lived overseas for 6 years. And so like I think that language, like the native language of the culture that you're in, plays a huge role in understanding the culture.
That's true.
I think it's very much attached and very nuanced. And I think if you don't understand the language, you can't really understand the nuances that they have to maneuver in order to like move in and out of different circles that they have to move in and out of. I don't think that America is the only place where people have to send their representative. I think representatives are sent whatever culture you're in, because human nature is to, one, avoid pain at all costs, right? Avoid pain and discomfort at all costs, right? And two, when you can't avoid pain and discomfort at all costs, it's to mask it, right? Like, it's kind of like, good because this is what needs to be done, and then move on from there. So I don't think that we're the only culture that does it. I do think we only notice it because we are living in it. But each culture has it. Even like when you like think about when we go to the nail salon, right? When people don't speak English, you know they talking cold hard cash trash. Cold hard cash.
Talking hella ish.
So like that's code switching. Like when they say, "Oh, hi, honey, come on in. We'll help you out what you need done." Like, you know. But when they sit down and they're doing it, like doing your stuff, and they're talking to like their coworkers, they're talking trash. They're talking trash.
I feel like they talk trash. Like, what happened to your nail? What happened? You can't do that anymore.
Like one of the examples, but I'm saying like that's one of the service examples that I'm using. But I think the code switch or send a representative in all places. Like even when they're dating people outside of their culture, they are putting their best person forward usually. So that's what it is. So
I ain't gonna front because we be in the grocery store talking mad junk in Lingala. So and then when you, to your point, the native language. So Mom, can't say that. She's like, they don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, until you meet that one person that actually know.
Yep, exactly. So like what kind of representatives did you encounter, and did it matter?
It mattered.
You want to talk about
it? Right?
I said it with a lot of patience. I said it with a lot of
said it with your chest. You said it with your chest.
So, dating in 2023 is hard. It's really hard. But it's like, you can sit there and have a whole dope conversation with somebody talking about things y'all have in common, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. And then weeks go by, months go by, and now everything that they said in the beginning or what you thought was, and now you're having that conversation again, Now it kind of switches. Oh, wait, because that's not what you told me before. Before you this big alpha male, X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third, you pay for everything. And now it's like, nah, I don't have a budget for dating. But I told you it was important for me to date. Like, actually date, go out, do things together. Don't have to spend $200 to do it, but come up with something creative.
Go to a park, learn how to set out a blanket.
Right.
I'm like,
like you're gonna have to pay for the deli. you're gonna have to pay for the food. Like, to make the sandwiches for the picnic, like you still gotta put out something.
Once it's in your house, you just grab some bread and some meat that's in your house and be like, all right, let's go.
That's fair. But like to not have that, and then you turn around and you say all these other things. It's like, what was the point? What was the point of you sending your representative for us to end like this?
Have you ever sent your representative at a date?
No. I need you to get the authenticity of me to the point I don't even wear makeup on first dates, because I need you to see how I look without makeup.
But you wear makeup though.
Huh?
You barely wear makeup though.
Right. But if I go out, like if I know we're going to a nice restaurant or something, like with my girls or something, I'll put on, I love me a good eyeshadow and I love me a good lip. But I don't even put a good lip. Throw on some Carmex and go out. Make sure my eyebrows are nice and like, do one of these. Slick down. And make sure my hair is done like nice and proper. But like you gonna get these blemishes, all of that, But you gotta know like who you gonna rock with for the majority of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm gonna give you that authenticity from the rip, there's no point of you to give me your representative. Unless you're trying to impress, but I mean, you gotta keep that. You gotta keep the gimmick up.
I'm not trying to impress you. Know what they're trying to do? They ain't trying to impress nothing. They trying to,
I don't know.
Trying
there's something out there that's not even
the threshold.
There's something out there that's not even trying to smash, and they still been rocking with me, and then all of a sudden, again, your representative is gone. So again, like, why did you do all this? Like, you not even, that's not, if your main purpose is not even a smash, like what was the reason?
What was the reason?
What was the reason? And it's frustrating because now I gotta, all right, listen, maybe relationship life is not for you. Like maybe dating, maybe you're not, this is not your thing, and you thought it was your thing, but like you don't even want to put out $10 to go somewhere.
Just move, bro. Like just move.
Yeah, like you don't even want to go skating on senior night. Like something's not really popping right now.
Like senior citizens?
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. When you get those discount like Tuesdays, like skating Tuesdays.
Wait, they giving us senior citizen discounts now?
They get senior citizen discount for everything. Oh no, not for us. Not for us.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
You have to sign up for AARP right now, right?
Wait.
I'm not dating anybody 65 or 55.
I was saying, oh my God, you dating a senior citizen?
But we can get those discounts for AARP. Like you don't have to wait till you're in your 60s to get AARP benefits. You can sign up right now today and get all of those benefits.
That's true.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until someone said it, and sure enough, it works. So y'all know that now. Y'all can sign up for AARP. Y'all don't have to be 60 to do it, and you'll get all the benefits.
Want your registration.
We got an affiliate code to give them shit.
Right.
Giving out stuff.
AARP stuff.
That was free. That was free information. No more free stuff though. All right. Sponsorships.
What about you, Kiki? Like, have you ever like encountered a representative, and like, did it matter for you?
If I have experienced it probably was in spaces that it didn't matter for me. And like I said, I'm genuinely an authentic person. So I feel like if someone was to come not their best self, they would eventually automatically weed themselves out of it. Like honestly, because you can't keep up with shit for too long. Like you really can't keep up with shits for too long. So for me, I'm like, I feel like my authentic self would like conflict with with whatever bullshit is happening, and they will just end up transitioning themselves out because you can't keep up. You're not going to be able to keep up.
Damn.
But I will say the most I see it is probably in work settings, but even then it doesn't last long because you have to meet a certain requirement. And if you're faking like you know something and you don't, or you're faking like, oh yeah, I got all of this, especially me being a trainer, my whole job is to train people how to do something, and you can't fake the funk on knowing how to do something. It's either you got it or you don't. So eventually you're going to show yourself to be fake, and you're out of here.
Yeah, I think for me, yes, I have encountered representatives, and romantically, it bothers me. It does matter because, like, you want me to take you seriously, right? You want me to give you like kindness and like love and just kind of like be very feminine with you, but then you're giving me this facade like you're somebody that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically lying to me. Like, you expect me not to have my guard up after I find out that you're not who you are presenting that you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's you can't do that to people, man. Um and for me, I saw the signs that they were sending me a representative, but I just kind of like ignored it. Don't ignore signs, yeah. Like if y'all see somebody being a representative, like either address it with them
Flag on the play.
or get gone.
I would probably want to start throwing flags.
Flag on the play. I'll start doing flag on the play.
But like when it comes to like in the business and in the business world, like in my career, I don't care if you're representative because like the facts are gonna be the facts. Like if you like Kiki mentioned, like if you don't have that skill or you don't know what you're doing, it's going to show and you're gonna look more ridiculous trying to be a representative. Like you're gonna play yourself.
So question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing for us to answer, but I'm still gonna ask it. Why do people be fake knowing that eventually it's going to come to light and then still play the representative as if they didn't just get called out?
I would say either A, they've gotten away with it before. I feel like that's the big one. If I have gotten away with this 5 times before you, I'm gonna keep doing this. They probably can keep, like a lot of people could probably keep up with a facade like for a extremely long time, especially if they don't feel like whoever their authentic selves is enough. Ooh. So they might actually be able to keep up with it, almost like the fake it till you make it kind of thing. Like I'm gonna try to push as far as I can, okay. And if I hit a wall with it, I'm gonna just apologize and be like, I messed up. This won't happen again, and figure out another way to get around that. I just think that's too much work. That's just too much plotting and planning and working. Y'all know I have anxiety about already being around people. So to me, that's much work. But I feel like people find reasons as to why they feel. And don't get me wrong, there's also the narcissist that just likes to gaslight and they want to be like, no, I am the best in everything that I do, and I want you to fall under that, I don't know, like realm of me being this whirlwind, even though they're not. Gotcha. But I think a lot of people sometimes fake funds because they're trying to present something that they don't want you to see. They don't want you to see their flaws. They don't want you to see that you messed up. They don't want you to see that they're human. Which is why I be telling people, I'm like, shit, like if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. If you know,
y'all.
It's okay. The world is not ending just because you're not the president. Like you're okay.
Helping hand. This is a helping hand. It's okay.
But I think that's a lot. That goes into a lot of people just they don't want you to see that there's flaws.
That's fair. Gigi.
So I think like I mentioned before, I think it's 3 different things, like 4 different things. I think it's a trauma response, right? And I think it's a coping mechanism. So like it might not be something that they have actively worked on, but it's their default setting. So that's just what they're going to do no matter what the circumstance is. Like anytime a situation where it's going to be like high stress or a new person or a new environment or whatever it is, they're going to employ that representative. I also think that there's two forms of representative. There's the one that's like, there's some liars that just lie from every now and then, and there are some liars that are pathological. And I think it's the same thing for representatives. I think sometimes they just put it on when they think they need it, when they think they don't need it. And then there's some that are so like just gone up here. Like they just keep doing it. Even if you're trying to like expose it or show it, they just keep doing it. But I think at the root of that, at the very, very foundation of that is people who lie, people tend to hide truth when they feel like the truth won't be accepted. And for those people that do that, their true selves, they feel like won't be accepted. And so therefore they show the representative. I don't think that it's something that definitely is something that you have to work on self-worth with in order to get to a place where you're like, I am enough. Like I'm good enough. How I show up, who I am is going to be accepted, and that's good enough. I don't have to put on 30 different layers of personality to make this situation work or to be accepted in this environment or this places. And I think it also takes them having enough self-love to say, like, if I'm in an environment where I'm not accepted for who I am, then I know I don't belong there. So I think it's so many different layers to it. I think that a person who studies like people and just human behavior for a job in their life would be better at answering it from like a more expertise level and help us understand like what are the other person might be thinking. But those are just something I'm just pulling together from like experiencing people and then like learning about myself and like all those different things that you gather as we grow, right? Like we learn and grow.
Yeah, because it's not always manipulative. Like I feel like some people, like you said, sometimes it's their default setting where it could be a like you said, trauma response where they're trying to get out of conflict, where they're like, shit, this is gonna blow up. I really can't handle a conflict. I'm just gonna act like this.
Joke or let me be as likable as possible,
Yeah, it could be a lot of different things. And don't get me wrong, there's people that definitely do it on purpose, but I don't feel like it's always manipulative. Sometimes it really is just a scare factor. Like,
yeah.
So
especially when you grow up in an environment where spilling milk or like being like, what you doing, you're doing it wrong, do it this way, like all the time. Yeah, like that then takes a life of representative. Like you don't
also peer pressures.
Yeah, you don't feel like your capabilities are enough to like survive those different circumstances, and so your insecurities flare up, and then like you just kind of put on that mask. Like especially with relationships, like nobody wants to feel rejection. Like good. I mean, it's understandable to have rejection from every so often, but it doesn't feel good.
No, because it's like there's peer pressures in that too. Because sometimes you can do something, and somebody be like, "Yo, that was weird as fuck." Like, what you got going on? Oh shit. Okay, people don't like that. All right, I'm gonna just act like this. So this is what everybody's doing. I'm gonna just do this then and say this because this is what's the norm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just act like I'm with that. I'm gonna hide in between everybody else too, even though I may not feel like that.
Yeah, I've done that for sure. So I get that.
Yeah. Do you think like representative? Do you think you need it to survive? Like, do you think that's something that?
I guess going through the conversation, yeah. Mm-hmm. The perfect example is what Kiki just mentioned when she was saying how, like, I'm quirky, weird, awkward. I say certain things. I call Kiki a loser, but it's out of love. But nobody would really says. No one would really get that if I just call a random friend a loser that didn't know me for over a decade. You know what I'm saying? Loser, like that is like not endearing. Which, I mean, again, if you don't know the context behind it or where it came from, then like, yeah. So then I feel like sometimes my true personality I can only show some people, but I can't show everyone. So I guess as we're talking about this, like, yeah, I guess you do have to like show a representative to depending on where you are in the circle. Like we talked about, like
the tiers of friends.
The tiers of friends. Of like how comfortable you can be. And if you're comfortable as hell, then there's no representative. But if you're not, like even an inkling, now that I'm hearing everybody speak, then the representative like comes out. Mm-hmm. Like tap on this, I got it from here.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's needed for survival for sure. And there's levels to it, of course. You don't want to get to pathological liar.
You want to get to SVP status?
No, we don't want to get there.
Senior vice president, representative.
Like, whoa, come back down the ladder. You don't want to get to that point, but I do think it's needed. Like I said, especially here in America, in this culture, in this stance, and being a part of society. You got to throw your representative out there sometimes. Even for me, like I'm a very genuine person, but there's so many people that don't feel like they know me and been around me for years. And she knows me. She be acting crazy. It's other people. And that's just because I don't give all that you feel like you will need from me. It's not that I'm sending somebody fake, but I'm not going to put out there what maybe a normal person will put out there in terms of getting to know me. So I'm going to only send out there what I want you to see. That's it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a way of sending a representative. Like I'm being myself, but you're not getting all of me.
The full you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, there's tiers to it, but either way, you have to do it to maneuver.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. I think in order for you to survive like the everyday life, because everyone's not raised the same way. Like just example, like living in New York, the culture of New York, like people here are very unkind, but they're nice.
Yes, I was talking about that.
So there was a post that happened on social media somewhere, and it was saying how like in California people are kind, but they're not nice, and they're unkind, but they're very nice. And example of if a person sees you with a flat tire in California, they're kind of like, oh, I hope somebody comes to help, and they kind of just keep it moving. Whereas New York, and they see you with a flat tire, they're like, you dumb, you don't know how to change a flat tire. Move
out the way, bro. I got
it. And they're like, learn how to change a flat tire next time and stay out the way. Like, and then they go about their business. So like that, I think if you don't have a representative, I don't think you're able to survive, because at the center of us, we can get wounded very easily, and that can change who we are change who we are. But if you have a representative, that kind of like, it doesn't affect you directly. Like you kind of affect the representative, and then you can kind of go about your business. Like you don't have to wear the weight of that type of roughness that comes with living life. Like,
so you sparked something, but I think I feel that way about where I currently live now.
Yeah.
And it gets more and more, if I have to put my representative all the time, I shouldn't be around this space, or I shouldn't be here, or maybe I should hang around here. And then I wanted to ask the question, because last week we did an episode on social anxiety. Do you feel like having social anxiety and representatives coincide now?
I think it's sparked a lot of times by social anxiety sometimes. I'm only going to speak for myself on that, because I don't know about other people. But I think mine is sparked by social anxiety for sure.
I think for me, my social anxiety erases my
representative.
Yeah, because
everything goes out the window.
Yeah, like I withdraw. Like I don't really like. I just like disengage from everything. Like,
see, and for me, I have to put on face in order to make it through. So, like I said, like what I was talking about last week, where it was like, okay, I said I'm going to do this event and be around these people, and I really am feeling some type of way. All right, let me turn it on. I got to turn my energy on. I have to, all right, if I'm being talked to, engage, say, make sure you're looking at them, make sure you're talking to them, make sure that you're answering questions. And like I said, even in those moments, I'm so worried about make sure that you're answering the question that I don't even engage back in asking questions. So now I'm like, damn, did I look like I didn't care about them? And, I have to turn it on, which is technically a representative, even though, like I said, I'm always going to give my authentic self, but I have to still put on a mask for you or for whatever event it is or for whatever is going on. I have to put something on in order to make it happen.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's sparked because of the social anxiety.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can see that being like the reality for you, like especially when you still have to deal with people. For me, in my position, like I just pretend like, well, I don't pretend most of the time. I just be like, oh, okay, I have to get back to an email, I have to respond to somebody. It's short deadline, gotta get going, and I just withdraw myself. Like or if I don't want to do something, I'm just like, no, thank you.
No, that's me. Sometimes they're probably thinking I'm antisocial. You want to go downstairs and get some Starbucks? No. Have fun though.
I don't even say that part. I'm just like, no, thank you. That's if I'm still a little bit social. But if it's completely cut off, it's a simple no.
Chi.
I'm just like no, and they look like they want me to further the thought, because most people when they say no, they're like, oh no, I ate earlier, or oh no, I'm gonna go grab something from blah blah, or oh no, I got coffee at my desk, or I don't no explanation. Like once I'm through with it, it's just no thank you. No, it's just like no.
I'm all right.
And then it's always like it's always awkward after that. How does like a representative affect trust? How does it affect security, and how does it affect like the sense of awareness?
I think the sense of awareness meter goes up now when you notice a pattern within some spaces. Like, we talk about, some spaces in the workplace. The meter is not too high because it's like you already know people are coming with representatives. So it's like you're not really like, they don't. You're just automatically like, all right,
I just need the job done.
Yeah, like I need to get the job done.
I don't care who's here,
whoever I'm working with. If that's how you feel, cool. But then you have the relationship. That meter goes a little higher because it's like, all right, now my life is on the line. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it's more so if I'm going to invest my personal time into this or try to grow this, now like my meter is on 1,000 because I got to make sure like you really don't have your representative show. Like I need to know this is actually you. So I do think it depends on where the meter rises and falls depending on where it matters in your life. So for me, it's like work but relationships is deeper. But if it's like social settings or like sorors or something like that I don't really, I'm just coming for the event. Like, you gonna be you. I'm good.
Okay.
So I agree. I think like job and social events and sorority life, it's just kind of like I'm only here for an hour or a couple of hours out my day. I ain't really too worried about who you bring here. As long as the job is getting done, I don't care if like even for I don't care if it's Beyonce or Sasha Fierce that's here. Get the job done. Okay, like I don't care. Yeah. I can't say that I've had full-on issues with that relationship-wise. In terms of my relationships, when the representatives came, it didn't stay long. A lot of times, it didn't stay too long. So it was either when the real self came out, I either rocked with the real self or I didn't. And that's just what it was for me. Like I just was like, all right, well, this is not something I can do long term. So we can go ahead and drop this. Let's go ahead and end this.
It was great.
Thank you for a good couple weeks, months, maybe a day. But this is done now, so I can't say that. I don't know. I guess I haven't really been like super affected by people's representatives that much. I never really let it.
Yeah, I feel like me. Yeah, I don't think it matters. Like you just
like to me, I'm just like because I always look at the world as people are going to be people. I walk through the world already expecting a mask from people, so it's not something that it bothers me. Or if I see it, it's not something that I'm like, oh, you're trying to get over on me. Who you think you are? Like, it's like, okay, we found it. Now I know where we stand here, or now I know where you are. So now I can move accordingly.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel when it comes to representatives and stuff like that. Even when I was dating, I'm not dating no more, thank the Lord. But even when I was dating, it was like that for me. It was just like, okay, this is who he says he is. I'm going to move along as if this is him because of the genuineness of who I am.
Yeah.
Either you are who you are or you're not. And if I see that you're not, it's going to clash. So I'm going to be like, okay, well, I can't do this anymore. But somebody's out there for you.
Yeah.
So go look for the person that likes this. I'm not that one. And then I just keep moving.
So for me, representative, it affects my self-awareness, especially when I feel like I have to put a representative on. It affects my self-awareness because I'm thinking like, okay, this person is triggering me to feel uncomfortable to be myself around them. Like I can't be transparent with them. I can't be like my full who I am with them. And so that is that's so like alarming to me. And then that affects the way I can trust, and that affects my sense of security within that person or with that person. So for me, I would say it has it's not good or bad. It just is what it is. And for me, that kind of awareness just makes me understand that, okay, this person's not supposed to be on the inner circle, or the person that's just like passing through. This is not a person you need to be trying to figure out what you're feeling with. This is not a person you should be letting in on your ideas that you want to pursue. Like this is not that kind of thing. So for me, it is a good gauge of how I interact with people around me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are a few people that I have at work that I don't feel like I have to put the representative on for, and I'm very grateful for them because they allow me to grow in a way that um that shows me I can be more authentic, more authentic self in the more rooms that I'm moving in as I am growing in my career. So I need that. Like that's something I was looking forward to.
Well, now I have a question. Do you guys feel like you have to call it out when you see it? Like if you see that there's a shift, do you feel like it does something for you internally to call it out to them? And what if they don't respond to it? Like, what if they're just like, no, you're wrong?
For me, I'll let it rock until it includes me or anybody that's in my first ring of circle.
Okay.
I'm going to let it rock. You can be the representative you want to be, cool, rock out, chill. But then when my name gets mentioned, and now you're trying to put a representative on me on something I did or clearly didn't do because you're a representative, so what you're speaking about is probably false, then now we got a problem. So now I'm going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Everything was cool and dandy until you put my name in it. Now we got a situation because I'm not going to do that. Or if it affects me directly as far as like in relationships, if, they're like, oh yeah, like I like courting people. I like courting women. And then it comes to me and you're not courting me. Now it's one of two things. Either you really don't like me or you lied about courting. Which one is it? So now I have to come out and actually ask the question because the math ain't mathing. Other than that, have fun. Live your best SVP representative life. Live it.
So yeah, I agree with Beliza. It's the same for me. Like it's gonna depend. Like romantically, I'm gonna call it out. I'm like, is this a representative? Like, is this who you really are? Like, I'm gonna ask. If it is a person that I want to see in my circle long term, like I want to see like around long term, because like everybody don't need to be tight knit. Like I just need the network. Like most people who refer you, most people who get you the next job, most people who bring you the business are people who are not closely in your network. They're like loose people that kind of value who you are and what you have to offer, and then you have your name in rooms that you're not even in a positive way. So if I feel like I want to be able to confide with you or be deeper than just, hey, how's your day going? Oh, good, good. Like more than that with, then I am going to call it out because I feel like sometimes, like I said, it's a coping mechanism, and it might be a trauma response. And so therefore it's nice to let somebody know, like, hey, like, don't worry, like, you're safe to let your guard down with me. I got you as long as you got me. Um, so yeah, I think it depends on the person to person. It's not like I don't have like a blanket of how I treat all of them because, you know, I think I err on a more side of compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're just doing raggedy shit, like you a crackhead, you just doing like a whole bunch of nonsense, you can't be trusted, you stealing and shit. Like, no, I'm not calling out nothing. I don't want you around long. Like, I'm not.
Dang,
Doing junkie shenanigans.
What they stealing? Gigi,
Junkie
what they
shenanigans.
stealing, Gigi?
Stealing bullshit. I don't know, they be selling something simple. Like
Toothbrushes and
if
shit?
person who would go into like a convenience store and just be taking shit, like, I'm not gonna trust you. And I don't care what representative you show me. I gotta get far away from you because you're gonna have me locked up behind
Yeah.
you.
I feel that. Don't take a penny from me. It's my penny. Period.
Yeah.
Mine.
Mine. What about you?
I don't call shit out. I'll be honest. I see who you are. Great.
No.
I'm going to act accordingly. That's just how I feel. But I don't feel there's a need. Once again, I've just never been put in certain positions, but there's never been a time that I felt it was this huge need that was detrimental to anything I had going on for me to call something out or to shift somebody out of my life in a way because their representative decided to leave or something.
Yeah. We touched on it a little bit throughout our conversation, but like, what are some ways that a representative can be helpful or harmful?
I think the conversation of what you were talking about earlier, Gigi, of being in those important rooms, I thought that was very profound. Of, they could have that representative on and you meet them and you hear blah, blah, blah. And then when you finally talk to them and kind of see what really helped, because that the representative intrigued you, you now go and talk to them and put the walls down and now have like a real, true, authentic conversation. And now you guys have created this like dope bond that is like, oh shoot, I think I did that with my LSs. Like at first you're sending a representative because you don't know them. And then you're like, oh, you like Sade? Oh, okay. Oh, you like this, you like that. Or, you just find like that one true thing that comes out through the representative and you're like, yo, this is dope. And then you end up building like a dope bond, which could lead to opportunities like you were saying before. So I think that could be like very, very helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's always helpful in a work setting, depending on where you're trying to go. I think a lot of times we network to figure out what mask do we have to put on to get to where we need to get to. So I think, when you're asking questions, when you're in those rooms, when you're like, okay, I've done it before where I'm like, how do I get to where you are? And they're like, well, you have to do this, 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 and this. All right, cool. I'm going to do that. Might not be something I would have done on my own or, not something that I would have want to do on my own. But if I need to get to where you are, then I'm going to put on face and I'm going to do exactly what you're telling me to do so that I can get there. So I think it's very helpful to send your representative at work at times. I know some people don't want to hear that, but you're not supposed to be this super genuine. They're not genuine. Like our supervisors are not genuine. The CEOs are not genuine. They're playing a game. So we're going to play the same game to win. In terms of harmfulness, I think in relationships, I think that's just the number one. Like if you're building something with somebody, you have to give them your authentic self. You have to give them the good, the bad, the ugly. And of course, I'm learning more of that going into like a marriage, but they have to see you at the worst, because if this is all the worst is, then anything else is going to be doable.
Yeah.
If I can see exactly what the worst is, I feel like there's not any, like you said, unless you're out here doing junkie shenanigans. You're out here being a whole crackhead. But a lot of what we think is so bad that we have to hide it is really not that deep. It really isn't that deep. And you can't show your fake self in a relationship because with the junkie shenanigans,
she can't get over it. Because you know that Crazy.
Because it was a video on Instagram that I watched just today. I will send it to you too. And it was talking about this guy who was in real estate and he met this other person that was a person, and this person was a heroin addict, and then they got a prostitute to sleep with one of the buyers at gunpoint, sits in a chair watching them sleep together, and then the stripper prostitute was a notary as well, so they signed for it. And then he put a situation where the other guy that originally introduced him to real estate got all wrapped up in it because like the guy on heroin, you're not supposed to make somebody sign at gunpoint for a house.
For a house. So his point was the way he started off, because it went left. The way he started it off was
where are you? Where are we
right.
Story?
He was like, and he was so serious.
He said,
like, listen, sometimes you can't bring everybody with you.
Yeah, that's
what I came through the barbershop and there's a heroin addict there. He asked me where I got to. I told him how. So then, a few months later, you could tell he was getting his thing, came to me with an offer. And then I went ahead and closed the deal. We split the profit. And then come to find out, he ended up doing all of that.
Yeah.
It went so left. He was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that story.
Like a hard right, like that.
I would think you can't bring everybody with you. There's just some things that I'm like, nah, bro, I need to know your history.
You can't.
You really can't bring everybody.
Maybe it's kind of like even the representatives, like, I'm here for networking, I'm here for opportunity. Representative, I'm going to rock with you until I no longer need your services. I'm always going to be, of course, be cordial, keep that representative relationship. And you don't even have to show your face and they don't have to show you their face. It's kind of like, I need your representative.
Yeah.
You need my representative. Let's make this happen and keep it moving. We don't even got.
But not heroin addict representative. That was
not heroin addict representative.
Not at gunpoint. God damn.
Everybody.
But also, I've never seen a heroin addict that didn't look like a heroin addict. So
it takes some time to get there.
Like how long?
It takes some time. They gotta. I mean, most heroin addicts are super deep into it, but it get to the teeth falling out and the nails being different. You have to. I've seen it in all stages where someone was like just getting started, then they were full blown in it.
So
it's a transition.
I know this is a rabbit hole, but I need more answers. Like,
because her being a probation.
No, I know, but do it take a month or two? Like, how rapid? Like, how?
Honestly, I would say it'd probably take a year because most times you'll notice teeth, or the picking in the skin and stuff. You probably won't see that for a good 6 to 8 months, almost a year. When it's starting their skin is falling apart, and they got to be doing that every. Yeah, they start looking like zombies. Meth and heroin, they start looking like zombies. I had one guy tell me that he was a heroin addict. I didn't know yet because he was acting weird, but I didn't know he was.
How many months?
Because he looked normal. He was functioning.
And he said he was.
You said what?
How many months? And he said he was.
He was on my caseload. He switched to my caseload, so he was on my caseload for about maybe 3 or 4 months because I was seeing him every month. So I think that's the point that he knew he couldn't hide it.
So he was a new heroin addict.
I would think so. I think he started to realize that he didn't have control over it because I was seeing him every month and I'm asking questions that he can't give me answers to. So now I'm like,
what happened to
what's
him?
going on? He checked himself into a rehab.
Oh, good.
So he was just like, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a heroin addiction. I'm not shaking it well. And he didn't have no skin deflection. His teeth were still intact, all that.
Like some data.
You said what?
Started?
Which one?
You didn't ask him when he started? I'm trying to collect some data.
No, I don't ask none of that because if you're an addict, you're an addict. You've been an addict for a while.
When did you start this? That would have been my next question.
No, you come across it. And I was a drug court officer, so all of my people are addicts. My whole caseload was addicts. So for him, he didn't have signs of it, but he was honest enough to be like, I don't have control over this. So
that's what's up.
And he trusted me enough to say it. Some people, they don't tell their officers. So the fact that he trusted me enough, I made sure he got help.
That's sweet.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed up with his representative until he told you.
Oh yeah, girl, hard representative. Was going to work. Like he was consistently at work. I spoke to his boss. He was always at work. So he was doing what he was supposed to do, but he was still in the beginning stages. He just knew he lost control at this point.
Scary, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
To have an addiction that
you can't shake
over everything.
There's just some drugs I'm not willing to try because of what I see. But when I turn like 98, 99, oh, I'm drugging it up. I'm trying it all.
You think you're gonna enjoy it as much at 99?
I think so.
Like ecstasy, you gonna take ecstasy at 99?
Take it all.
Not at once though. Don't take it all at once.
You gotta be at optimum health. I need you to be at optimum health.
I'm not trying to go fast. I'm trying to be steady. I ain't trying to.
Gigi, just don't call me talking about some girl that ecstasy. I see what people have been talking about all these years. You gotta come over and try it with me. I'm
nah, it's gonna be a new drug by the time we 99. They gonna be just hey,
it just melts in your mouth. Gigi, don't call me.
So be them Listerine little slips.
Right. Girl, you just got slip it in your mouth. No, hold it under your tongue.
You think Little Miss Sunshine? That's what the grandfather did. He started doing drugs when he got old.
I never seen.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I can see that. It's like I did everything else. I already lived my life. I already worked. I already did all this. Why not?
Why not?
Shoot, live your life.
I think for old people, they shouldn't be for young people.
I'm mad at that.
You know what? That could be another episode. Yeah. I'm with that.
Yeah, I'm not even mad at that.
So, like, what do we take away from this about like representatives and like the role that they play in the lives that we live and the different environments that we are moving in and out of? Like, what do you take away?
You know, I thought I was gonna be hella aggressive at the end of this, but you know, I realized representative is needed in this world. I didn't think I was gonna say that then, but representatives are needed. Take them in doses.
Mm-hmm.
Don't overdose. Because we see what happens when you do.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you on heroin making a stripper sleep with a guy to sign a house over to him at gunpoint. I'm sorry.
Facts.
I would say just like you said, don't run with your representative. Your representative is not you, so don't act like it's fully you. Know when to turn it on and know when to have it off.
Mm-hmm.
And also for others, know that it's not always manipulative. Sometimes it might be because you're scared or they don't feel that they are truly a great person. So that you gotta kind of weed through people's representatives. And don't take everything personal too.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Personal.
Don't take
it. Yeah, I think representatives are everywhere. Like I'm up here representing like I'm not tired as hell. So there's that.
What a hell of a day.
What a hell of a day. A hell of a week for me. But representatives, I think in order for you to, unless you are in your own industry as an entrepreneur and you have like a product or a service that people must come to you for, you need to have a representative because how else are you going to build the connections you need? How else are you going to progress the way you want to in your life, your daily life? And then also you want to protect yourself when it comes to just dealing with different people and different the way that different people have been raised.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have to, like, with a representative, you have to know when it's safe to take it off and bear your who you are and with people that you can also trust too. And you have to be able to recognize when other people are showing you the representative. So that's what I take away. Like just a level of compassion that surpasses all anger, all resentment. Like you have to be very like not understanding, because sometimes understanding can be pushed into like gullible. But you have to be like very take everyone case by case. Like don't give a blanket for everybody. Like just case by case.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm taking away.
Chi.
Yes, Belinda.
This was great.
It's always great with you guys.
It is. I hope y'all learned something out there. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Tired and all. But hopefully we gave you the energy you need to push through. Be a representative when you need to be. And don't get lost in it. Mm-hmm. And make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. 30 in a Mess. That's 308ANDAMESS. We also got merch. Make sure you check that out. Hit us up on our Gmail, 30inamess@gmail.com, or our website, www.30inamess.com. Who says www? Anyway, we love y'all. We will see y'all next week. And bye.
Bye.